Steph, good morning to you. And here's what we're watching for you today. Toronto Public Health cracking down on schools, now limiting almost all in-person attendance. So health officials have issued an order which would limit in-person attendance across all educational settings, so not just schools or private schools. The order is in addition to the provincially mandated school closures. It takes effect first thing on Monday. There are some exceptions, like daycare services and learning for children with special needs. That can continue. We're going to continue to break this down for you. You can also find this on our website, citynews.ca. All right, does the province's COVID-19 response in long-term care warrant criminal charges? Well, the NDP is asking provincial police for a full investigation. And the request coming from Andrea Horwath after this week's damning Auditor General report, concluding that the province's COVID response in long-term care was slow. Last spring, Premier Ford vowed to launch an investigation into reports of deplorable conditions in care settings, but this week his government acknowledged that never happened. Now, coming up here at 7 o'clock, we're going to speak to a woman whose mother lives at Orchard Villa Retirement Community. It's a care home that faced a massive outbreak last year, to get her take on this. Now, the Ford government is under fire after claiming one dose of the Pfizer vaccine doesn't offer much protection against COVID-19.
One dose of Pfizer is potentially only 30% effective against the variants from the UK. This is a study out of Qatar. So what we're asking about, the federal government to do here is support us.
Okay, now experts are calling foul, saying that interpretation of the Qatar study is being widely condemned, even by the study's authors, because it includes infections that occurred within 14 days of receiving a first dose before immunity is boosted. Doctors say that type of messaging from the Ford government is dangerous.
Even after first dose, we have found the vaccine effectiveness to be about 90%.
Intellectually irresponsible. And if it's an elected official doing that should cost them their job.
I think it's extremely important to get vaccinated. These vaccines really work well.
And this comes just days after Health Canada approved the Pfizer vaccine for teenagers between 12 and 15. Ontario has not yet released an expanded timeline for the vaccine rollout, but the health minister says this plan could see kids offered their first dose in schools, with a second dose given before the new school year begins in September. And with the major boost in Pfizer shipments over the next few weeks, federal officials are moving up their goal for when every Canadian could get a shot.
There will be sufficient vaccines in country to vaccinate earlier than initially anticipated with the first dose, all those Canadians who want to have it.
Officials are now projecting there will be enough doses for every Canadian adult who wants one by Canada Day. The previous goal was to have enough shots for every Canadian by September. If there are no further shipment disruptions, Canada could see over 40 million vaccines in our country by June. And Prime Minister Trudeau, he will be holding a COVID-19 update this morning in Ottawa. It's happening at 11:30. As always, we will stream that one live on our website if you'd like to watch, citynews.ca. Well, the city is responding to the Toronto District School Board's $90 million lawsuit over that 2019 York Memorial Collegiate fire. The city manager, not mincing words here, standing by the city's fire chief, Chris Murray, sent out a letter which reads, in part, I am compelled to express my extreme disappointment in the baseless and irresponsible allegations made against Fire Chief Matthew Pegg. This could have only been intended to cause unwarranted harm for some undisclosed strategic benefit. The lawsuit alleging the blaze at the historic school was not properly secured, which then led to a second fire over 24 hours later. It took several days before the site fully extinguished. Let's get to Alberta now. Over 100 seniors evacuated last night following a massive fire at a long-term care home. The RCMP called around 8 p.m. local time to help local fire crews with this fire, which is at Citadel Mews West Seniors Home. 3 people taken to hospital, 2 in serious but stable condition after suffering smoke inhalation. A third treated for minor cuts. Now, fire crews were able to bring this blaze under control within a few hours. And according to the company's website, the home has 125 long-term care beds at this facility. Horrible sight here. All right, it is 6:09. Coming up next in business, one of Toronto's most historic restaurants and maybe everyone's favorite date spot could be saying Goodbye. What? We're talking about the Keg Mansion. Is it for sale? Is it still haunted? Mike Eppel, he's next.